Hello, everyone. Please take your seats. Please. All right. Last session of the day before you can go out and enjoy the jazz festival or whatever activity you're planning to do. And this one will be about collaborative efforts to study GBA in the spirit of the open science that our director Giulo spoke about in the opening of this meeting. Is really what guides us when in the next two projects that we will hear about. So the first project, GCAN, that is our own Canadian initiative to study GBA, will be presented by Lorna, that you probably all know from the emails. I don't want to take from Lorna's talk, but I just want to say that after her talk and whenever you want after the meeting, we would like to have, currently it's a Canadian initiative, but the purpose is to make it global. So we would like as many collaborators as possible. So feel free to contact us after to talk about this. So Lorna?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'll be giving an overview of GCAN, or the Canadian initiative, GBA Canadian Initiative. So my name is Lorna. I'm the program manager. And my background is in structural bioinformatics, not anything in neurology and all this, but it's a great opportunity to manage the project. So firstly, I'd like to appreciate or acknowledge our funders, the Weston Foundation, Silverstein Foundation, Michael J. Fox Foundation, as well as the Van Bacom and Saucier family. Now we have three main goals for the initiative. And first, it's to advance the understanding of GBA, its mechanisms, as well as GBA-associated treatments. And that one, we intend to do it using open science initiative, as well as collaboration to accelerate the understanding. And also, secondly, is to bring the first treatment for GBA-associated neurodegeneration to trial within the first 5 years, and 1 or 2 additional treatments within 10 years, and also explore combination therapies within the same period. Thirdly, we seek to support trial-ready, creation of trial-ready populations through already existing infrastructures. That's the Canadian Open Parkinson's Network, Quebec Parkinson's Network, as well as also explore recruitment of prodromal, LBD and RBD, and also healthy GBA carriers through collaborations that will form along the way. Now here, GCAN will mainly use a unique collaborative model. In the middle there, we have an individual, or let's say a patient with reduced GCase activity, where the patients are recruited here at the neuro with already existing infrastructures, where we are going to use their samples to generate genomic data, clinical imaging, epidemiological data, as well as also measure different biomarkers. Then from all these data and samples that will data and samples that will be will be generated. We'll use it in 2 arms. That's the clinical arm on this side. Okay, if you can see my pointer. So the clinical studies will utilize the data and the samples to conduct clinical trials, perform pathological and imaging studies, as well as brain networks. Then we have the basic and translational studies that will use their expertise to generate human cell models, animal models, also generate patient-derived organoids and other experiments. Now, all this will be possible with the help of our industry and academic partners, philanthropy and funding agencies. I'll mention a few at some point. Now, GCAN is managed by an 18-member scientific advisory board, which is comprised of leading scientists in GBA1 research, as well as we have 1 patient representative Rich was here the first day and left, but we have a variety of expertise from all these members. We also have the institutional steering committee that's comprised of 7 members, and as well as myself, the program manager, and as well as academic associate Prio, who's over there. So all these bodies are managed under the leadership of Ziv, who's the executive director, as well as the principal investigator for most of these research projects that will be conducted. So some of the industry and academic partners that we have include the clinical research unit, the early drug discovery unit. We also have the CBIG, which is clinical biospecimen imaging and genetic biorepository. So these are already structures that are in place to help us. Once we generate all the data and the models, that they'll be useful, like CBIG, to share the data to the rest of the scientific community. Now, I'll just mention a few of the key projects that are key in the project. One is ASOs that target GBA1 to increase GCase activity, and that, like I mentioned, is to at least bring the first treatment in phase 1 within the first 5 years. We also seek to develop targets that will modify GCase activity, not only for GBA1, but also its modifiers such as TMM175, SCAB2, CTSB, just to name a few. Functional studies to understand the mechanism, clinical studies. I've also mentioned creation of world largest cohorts of GBA. And lastly, to disseminate data and resources through CBIG, NeuroHub, as well as through our website. Now we have a team of about 14 internal and external research collaborators that go by the name Canadian GBA Consortium. So it's a group that has various expertise from molecular biologists, geneticists, neurogeneticists, and experts in movement disorder, and also lysosomal storage disorder. Now, these are the research collaborators that will be resourceful in generation of the data, models, and all the tools that we'll be sharing with the research community. Now, I'll touch just a bit about research progress that we've had so far. And in terms of expanding the child-ready population, so far we've genotyped more than 1,000 samples since the inception of the initiative, which was last year, October, to date. And out of this, we have more than 800 GBA variant carriers with PD and more than 150 with RBD. In terms of recruitment of healthy carriers, we had so many strategies as to how we will get the control. So one of it would be to utilize the patient and relative database of already existing infrastructure, like I mentioned, the Canadian and Quebec registry, as well as we also thought of capitalizing on Gaucher patient organization. And so far we've completed agreements with National Gaucher Foundation of Canada, International Gaucher Alliance, as well as Gaucher Community. And we would also be taking advantage of the collaboration we have with GP2 to recruit also the prodromal group. And lastly, we are also initiating collaboration with several Gaucher clinics, University Health Network, Mount Sinai, and so many others that we are currently engaging with. Briefly, in terms of model and tool development, on zebrafish model, we have so far, when I say we, I mean the researchers, not myself. So the researchers have identified the first CRISPR that targets near a site corresponding to W378G, and there's ongoing efforts to target mutation near L483P. In terms of stem cell generation, there are several stem cell generation that has been completed, targeting GBA1 as well as its modifiers. And For the modifiers, we have not only TMM175, but we have CTSB, SCAB2 that are already ready for dissemination. For measurement of GCase activity, we have implemented so far 2 of the 3 methods that we know of for measuring GCase activity, that is 4-MUG and PFFD glue. And the graph just shows or proves that what has already been published, that ambroxol can modify GCase activity. As for ASO project, we have also seen that previous findings shows that ASO enhanced GCase activity in control dopaminergic neurons. And so from our researchers' point of view, we have also had an inhibitor, not yet disclosed at the moment, but we are showing that there are positive results here where there's increase of GCase activity using control, and there's ongoing work to test ASOs in mutant models too. Like Ziv has mentioned before, we are pleased to share with you the website for the first time, and most of you, I'm sure, have already accessed it through the QR code. So from here, you will learn more about us, you'll learn about the novel research that we'll be conducting, how it's governed, then, and also access like data and tools and models that we'll be generating. Just to mention lastly, that GCAN also has a funding opportunity that will open requests for application year 2 or within year 2 or year 3 of the project, where any researcher is open to apply for funding through us, where we will support your research that is related to GBA. So, a quick example of resource that we have that you can access is this one. It's a database that we created where you can easily access GBA cohorts worldwide. And finally, we are privileged to host this meeting where we had like more than 200 participants in person, and also about 16 or so virtual attendees. And we appreciate all our speakers who honored our invitation for speaking in this event. We also had more than 50 abstracts, and there was also strong farmer involvement in not only participation, presentation, but also their sponsorships. I would like to appreciate and acknowledge all our funders and our sponsors for their generous support, as well as our industry sponsors. Thank you for listening.
Thank you. Just one point I want to clarify before I call the next speakers. All the data and all the tools, models, etc., that are generated are being made available openly. I mean, you'll have to apply for it, but it's open science project. So everything that is being done here is being made available as we go. So I hope this will be a useful resource for as many people as possible.